now entering the broadcast. Nurish broadcast, take one.
Back to the podcast. Right here, I got Charles to my left. I got Eric to my right. How you doing, Eric?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. So, Charles, lead it off.
Well, the reason why I want Eric here is because last podcast we were just talking about traveling, mental health, all that shit. And this dude, I met this dude in my one of my CQB classes. For the guys that don't know out there, it's just a tactical course, and he happened to. His energy was something that I gravitated towards, and I just knew, man. I was like, man, I gotta get this dude on the podcast because he's got mad stories.
Yeah.
So
crazy stories.
That's all they are. They're just stories, man. They're just stories, bro.
So I mean, we could just kick it off by you could tell everybody like, what you about, bro? Where you come from? Like, what's your deal?
I don't know, man. I grew up. It's kind of funny because where I grew up in South Florida. But I went to I'm from the hood, but not like South Miami, little Jamaica hood. Like I was from a beach town.
What city?
It was the city that I'm from, New Smyrna Beach.
Okay.
So it's like Martin Luther King cuts right through the center of the city. So it's like one side is like straight hood, and then the next side is the beach.
And
so
let me guess, MLK is always the hood beach.
Bro, you already know. No, so it's like where they have Black Beach every year.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, but yeah, I'm from there, man. So I grew up just surfing, playing hockey, all that kind of stuff at the same time, and then I was just around all the homies all day just because I played ball. So I was the only pretty much non-black dude on the basketball team all through high school.
Still.
And then when I went to college, it was the exact opposite of that. I felt like I was the only ethnic person on the basketball team.
Really?
So it was kind of weird. But yeah, man, grew up in Florida, and then went to college for a year down in Florida Atlantic University. I played ball there, and then I transferred up to Philly. My parents moved to Pennsylvania my senior year of high school. For some medical reasons for my mom, and then that was another reason why I transferred up to the school up in Philly, was because of that. Graduated from school there, got my master's, then I joined the military. Didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, so I was just I figured out what I wanted to do, and then a situation happened. My girlfriend in college, she passed away. It kind of messed me up a little bit, and I was supposed to go to the Marine Corps, and I didn't end up going to the Marine Corps because of that. You know what I mean? When you have a plan, you know what I mean? It's when everybody has a plan of action or something. It's okay, kind of like a 2-year, 3-year, 4-year plan, but pretty much where your life is lining up the way you expected it to be, and then imagine getting that taken away just like that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that for me, I was just it's the first time I ever can honestly say that I dealt with depression. Because I mean, you know what I mean? You have fun growing up. You don't really have
super
any.
tragic.
Yeah. So it was like she was my life. So that just kind of ripped me apart for a little bit, and I didn't really know what I was doing. And at the time that happened, I was working for the district attorney in Philadelphia. So graduated law school and stuff. And so it, as a, I would say, young professional, I didn't know how to separate that phrase. I just kind of became young because one, I didn't really have any life experience other than high school and college. So that was the first person that meant anything to me that I lost. So the very first person. So it was kind of super detrimental to me. And I kind of went into a slump at work, and my boss was just like, dude, because he knew I was going to join the military because I was only supposed to have it be an internship after I graduated. And then I was going to go to the Marine Corps after that. And then so when he found out that happened, he was like, yo, hey, come work. All this kind of stuff. So I was working, and he was just like, man, you're slacking off with your work. So that to me, he's just like, I think you need something to find something with a purpose, because I didn't really care about my day to day. You know what I mean? So it's just I was just
How old were you?
23.
Damn.
Yeah, bro. So it was kind of like I grew up a little bit. I mean, I grew up from a young age, man. Like I've been working since I was 16. Like I used to work at Finish Line and all through high school. So you already know I had the freshest kicks. But so it was just kind of like that to me, like was my first like actual experience as an adult, and everything got taken away. So I just started slacking off at work, and my boss was like, if you can't help me with this caseload, like you're gonna have to find something to do. So I've always wanted to join the military, like ever since I was a kid. Like I wanted to be my grandfather, and just because he was, I mean, now that I know what I know about him, but like he was just like my idol. Like he retired from the Marine Corps, and then he went off and was a post office worker for like 20 years, and he came out. And my mom is one of 10. She's the youngest of 10, and everybody in my family has a huge family. Like my mom and dad have 7. My other uncle and aunt, they have like 8. Everybody has like more than 4 kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's just a massive family, and so like just my grandpa was like the epitome of the patriarch for the family, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like when you have that, it's like he was like my idol. Of course, like I mean, everybody loved Michael Jordan and stuff growing up, and like kids, it's like I want to be an astronaut, or I want to be a firefighter, or whatever. Like I wanted to be a guy that dressed up in camouflage and taught me how to play hide and seek. Like I wanted to be my grandpa. So I ended up like low key finding out way more about him in college. When we had I was in a gerontology class, and it's like the studying of old people, and one of the things was we were actually volunteering through a retirement home that was attached to a college and to the hospital at our school. And so we were like learning about just random people, like time eras, like, hey, we'd interview you. How was it in the 30s when you were growing up? Stuff like that. And so I was just like, I'm not going to do somebody that just random that I'm only going to talk to like 3 or 4 times. Like I want to find something out about someone that means to me. And I interviewed my grandpa, and my grandpa ended up telling me stories about, because my grandpa fought in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and he retired in the 80s. So like, and he's an extremely highly decorated Marine officer. He has him and 4 other people are the only people to survive both D-Day and Iwo Jima in World War II. Yeah, my grandpa. So like him and 4 other guys, like they have their own memorial in DC. So it's pretty dope. So it's just like after I found out about that, but my grandpa, that kind of instilled more of a fire in me to be like, that's dope. Because my dad was in the military too. Like my dad was a Navy SEAL. So it's just kind of like, okay, cool. Like here's this, and you don't have to worry about anything. Like you don't have to join the military. Like that wasn't something that like was forced upon me, or because my grandpa and my dad did it, I want to do it. No, I wasn't like that at all. I just thought it was a good idea to have that as like even just a life experience thing. You know what I mean? Because my dad didn't really do anything in the military, like war-wise and stuff like that, because that was early in the 80s. But like my grandpa saw everything. And then like now being out of the military, how I am and all the stuff that I've experienced, I can relate so much more to that because of, and so it's just kind of like, it's kind of weird how like just certain things happen. It's like, okay, cool, childhood hero. I end up growing up and having almost the exact same path. Give or take some things. Like, and now I'm more mature and I'm more knowledgeable about the subject. But yeah, man, went up there. And then I joined the military. After that, about 2 weeks after that, I left for boot camp. Oh, that was horrible, dude. Like that, it was just so funny because like you see, like I feel like I had a little bit of life experience, like just being a little bit older, having a job, like and maybe like since I've been moved out on my own, kind of not really on my own, but I've been self-sufficient since I've been 16, and so it's just like when you see these goofy dudes coming in straight out of high school, like that they were in like no offense from what we were talking about earlier, but like band camp dudes, and it's just like they weren't athletes, they weren't anything, and they're the type of people, like I always said there was like 3 type of people in the military. There's like the people who joined as like a family legacy type thing, like, oh, my grandfather was a Marine, my dad was a Marine, I want to be a Marine. You have those guys, and then you have the guys that it's something for them to do because they were the little guy that got picked on and they were tired of getting picked on. You know what I mean? It's the same with cops, bro. Like when I was a cop, you have I was like, there's three, and then you have the third is like how everybody should be the whole time, and it's the people who just like, you know what, I want to do something for somebody else,
Right.
you know what I mean, but I know what it's going to take. Like I'm going to have a job of responsibility, not authority, because being in the military and being a cop, that's an authoritative position. That's a responsibility position all day long, dude.
Right.
So it's just like, but people let that go to their head. So when you have all these type of people can join at the same time that are supposed to become one mindset together, is so hard, dude. And you're just like, I went in there just like simple stuff every day. Like we had to make our beds by a certain time. We had to do all this a certain time. Everything had to be perfect. Like just like you're getting taught how to have OCD. Like it's pretty much what it is, dude. Like straight up, because it's just like, this has to be a certain way. This has to be polished. This has to be clean. This has to be folded a certain way. And you can tell the kids that like never had to do chores growing up because they were just like whatever. They were the kids that was always getting people in trouble. And then it sucked because like boot camp was during like one of the worst snowstorms in like the history of Chicago when we went up there. So I was there from December to March, and then I went to prep, which was dive prep, which is across the street in Great Lakes. That was for the next 3 months, and then that was just like, it was just cold, dude, and I freaking hate the cold so bad. Being from Florida and like growing up in like, it's pretty much like how you guys are out here in like Southern California, like it's summer.
Day.
Yeah, but Florida summer is way different than Cali summer, bro. Cali summer is like, I'm gonna be in like the 80s, have a nice breeze coming off the beach,
Florida's
and like
hot and humid,
cold
right?
at night. You wake up sweating in Florida.
Damn.
You take a cold shower, you go to sleep sweating in Florida, dog. Unless your AC's on, but just
tropical
like,
weather.
Yeah,
it's
tropical weather.
it's dope. So I grew up in that. So when I would go to like the desert and stuff on deployments and stuff, it was like, oh, dude, where's my winter? I miss my winter. Living in from like Montana or something, but like, listen here, you freaking Yeti, like calm down, dude. Like some of us are from the normal places on the earth, like places that have nice weather all the time. And so that was like, desert deployments weren't joking, but like, dude, when we went to like North Afghanistan and stuff, that's pretty much the equivalent of like Lake Tahoe or like Big Bear
really
mixed with like the Rockies. Yeah, bro.
Oh, wow.
It's beautiful. Everyone's just like, oh, Afghanistan, blah, blah, blah. Like the mainstream media like portrays like us being in Afghanistan as like the desert, like Iraq. Nah, maybe a little bit of that. Everything else was beautiful.
Wow.
Like, it's gorgeous country. Like, I mean, yeah, it was crappy environments, but it was like, it's really pretty. Like you seen movie with Mark Wahlberg, Lone Survivor, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's northern Afghanistan where they were at.
Oh yeah, all the trees and stuff.
Yeah, man. So it's just like, but like, bro, we did some stuff that like up in the mountains and stuff, and I'm just like, yo, it'd be beautiful during the day. It's just like being in the mountains anywhere. Like if the sun's out, you're gonna get a color.
Yeah.
And then, bro, I'd be like single digits, 3, 4, 5 degrees at night. And you're like, nope. So it's like you put on stuff to get cold, and then by the time you take it off because you're hot, it's time to get cold again. And it's just, there's like no wind for that weather, man, especially during the winter. But yeah, man, it was.
What what branch of the military did you end up signing up with?
Oh yeah. So I was ready to go to the Marine Corps, and when I went there after the girl that I really cared about, like we were gonna get married, and I told the recruiter, and I was like, hey man, my girl just died, literally all this kind of stuff, and so there's a rule in the military that if you're not married, if they're not, it's like officially like documented as your wife, whatever, on your personal records, like can't do anything about it. Like say like we were together for like 15 years, but we're just a now fiance, doesn't matter, and you die, I can't go home on deployment.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? Like just saying, like that's like an example. It's a very really crappy example of an example, but it's just like that's the kind of stuff that could happen. But it's just like if your wife or whatever, like a immediate family, then it's like the only cause. But since she was not immediate family, they're like, sorry, you have to come. And I was just like, well, I'm not coming then. So I like gave that up.
Yeah.
I still, after I talked to my boss and he kind of convinced me to kind of go back to the military, I was just like, I didn't know what to do. So I went and talked to a Army recruiter, and I was just like, yo, hey, I want to do be CID, which was Criminal Investigative Division, and do like their case investigator, because within that you have to be a military officer. So that's all. I was just like, all right, I want to do this. And he's like, all right, well, we're phasing that program away. We're turning into a warrant officer. And what a warrant officer is you can get directly commissioned as a warrant officer, but if you enlist as something that leads to that position in a warrant officer, you have to sign up as enlisted. So I was going to do that, and I had everything ready to go. And he's just like, he saw my scores, which is like an SAT to get in the military. It's called an ASVAB. And he saw those scores, and he's like, yeah, I'm not going to put you through this, dude. He goes, you're too smart. And he's like, honestly, he goes, with your everything you have right here on your paper, he's like, you're going to be a lawyer. Like, you don't need to join the Army as an E3 or an E4. He's like, you should be joining as an officer so you can get paid and so you can tell people what to do, you know, just like you went to college for.
Yeah.
And he told me the process of like the wait time and what it was going to be like for me to get ranks to get to that position. And I was like, I'm not trying to do this shit in 3-4 years. Like, I'm trying to have this like 3-4 months. You know what I mean? Like, if it's a position that I'm gonna know and I can rank up because of my own like ingenuity, like pretty much like any kind of self-preservation that I'm gonna have to do because of getting to a higher rank is gonna be hard. I'm just gonna be like, I'm not gonna care. I'm just gonna do whatever it takes to just hurry up and get there if it's achievable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I decided not to do that, and he told me that the Navy actually had an equivalent job, and I was just like, oh, okay, cool. So I went over there and qualified for it, and I was ready to join the Navy as that. And then something happened, and I was talking to my dad about it, and he's like, that doesn't sound right. Let me call Brian, which was his old commanding officer, who is now like some bigwig in the Navy. Like, so he's, I don't know what he does, but he worked for, like, he was like the head recruiter for the whole Navy, the officer that had that position. And so he called him. He's like, that doesn't sound right. Let me take a check. And so we found out that that job didn't even exist in the Navy anymore. Like, it was like combined with another job that's not, they're not allowing people to just pick that automatically.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, well, that's cool. And he was just like, oh, I didn't know what your dad did. And I told him what my dad did. And he's like, oh, really? He's like, you should be a Navy SEAL or this, that, the other. And I was just like, well, wait, what? And I didn't even really know. Like, honestly, I never knew what my dad really did until I joined the Navy, because my dad didn't really talk about it that much.
Yeah.
So I ended up looking at a bunch of like the cool guy videos that they put you like, oh, you can do this. This is disarming bombs. This is jumping off helicopters and saving people that swim. This is blowing stuff up underwater, all this kind of stuff. And I was just like, I mean, that was pretty rad.
Yeah.
They all had guns. They all had like the cool videos of every dude's doing CQB and shooting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I mean, that's dope. So I went and talked to my dad about it, and he convinced me not to become a Navy SEAL because he doesn't think that I need to just be rolling around being America's at-will assassins. You know what I mean? Like they were back in the day. I mean, we still are, but you know what I mean? So he's like so many other programs, and he was just like, I think you need to do something that you learn a skill, not learn about yourself. He's like, yes, gunfighting's a skill, but it's not something that's going to help you on with your life. You know what I mean? Even
After
if you're a career military guy, like you're only operating for 10 to 12 years, and then everything after that's just like leadership. Like leadership, bringing up the next and the best. Because injuries happen. If you're good at your job, I don't care how good you are at your job, you're going to get injured in some way, shape, or form from somebody else's mistake. So I was just like, yo, what's this? And I was actually going to join as a rescue swimmer because I swam all through high school and played water polo and stuff. And then my sister actually told me what EOD was. And I was just like, wait, what? Like Hurt Locker? And the guy's like, yeah, like Hurt Locker, because he was a recruiter and he didn't know anything, dude. So I was just like, okay, cool, that looks dope. I was like, you get to run around, shoot stuff, disarm bombs, like make bombs. Hell yeah, I'm all about that stuff, dude. I was like the kids you see in the little movies that had all the firecrackers and stuff. I stayed blowing stuff up as a little kid, bro. So I was just like, that's dope. Yeah. So we did that, and I ended up joining as an EOD Tech. I left, and yeah, man. So we had boot camp, and then dive prep, and then I went to EOD school down in Eglin, and then that's everything. Boot camp's the only thing that isn't it's not something you can fail. I think the only way you can fail boot camp is you have something mentally, like legit mental issue, or some kind of severe medical issue, because they'll either hold you there till they can fix you, because they already spent money on you, you know what I mean, like you're just on the dotted line, you already got all your stuff trained for already, and if you have a medical condition like a seizure or something, and it's like, okay, cool, maybe it was stress induced or environment induced or something like that, it's not a serious legit reason, then they're just going to keep you there for an extra couple months till you get better. But then like dive prep is actually part of the beginning of the school that you can fail out of. So if you have these dreams and aspirations and delusions of grandeur that you think you're going to walk, you know, just through this, just like you did boot camp, because you're going to be a Navy SEAL or an EOD Tech or a Navy SWIC boat driver or a Navy diver, yeah, you're so wrong, because you'll fail out. Is you do something wrong, you can only do something wrong twice, and then you're done. It doesn't matter if you can't, not the same thing wrong twice. Right. Just, you messed up here, you messed up there, see you later. You're no longer this. Go find a new job and start the process over again. Yeah. So, yeah, that for us was kind of a wake-up call. But I was already in that mindset because I found something that I wanted to do. And I was just like, yep, I'm going to do this. So it's like, do this or figure out what you're going to do with your life, because this, after the girl that I thought I was going to marry, my girlfriend in college, die, and then that kind of whole part of my life got taken away, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't want to feel like that again. Like, I feel like I have to start over. So I was just like, it's either doing it or dying. Like, that's it. Like, I don't care. Because, I mean, there was like, we have our own, the people who join special operations, right, in boot camp, like, that's their job. They don't have to have another job to qualify to get into special operations. Our boot camp is actually harder. It's longer. And I think it's only like 2 weeks longer. I don't remember.
All the other branches? It's like harder?
No. I wouldn't say all the other branches, because I don't know what they go through in boot camp, but it's harder than the normal Navy boot camp. It's longer. We actually work out more. We run more. We do more strenuous activities. So like I would say the curricula part of it, like boot camp, because you still have to learn. You don't just go to boot camp just to strictly it's like exercise, sleep, eat, exercise, sleep, eat. Like, it's not like that. Like, we actually had classroom time, so it was like going to high school, and during the days you weren't in school, you were freaking running around, swimming, pull-ups, push-ups, burpees, everything you can think of, sweating your butt off inside while the condensation is so hot in the freaking room. The condensation is dripping off the walls because it's just ratchet smelling, dude. Like, we did that like 4 times a day. And
what was your eating pattern like?
We got to eat, so that's another thing. We got to eat 4 times a day as well. Oh, wow. So we had a thing called fourth meal, and it was in the middle of everything, and it was just loaded up with like pretty much carbs and fruit. Like, just because we were swimming so much and doing so much all the time, they're just like, I mean, dude, it doesn't matter. Like, you take the average person and work out as much as they do, and just in boot camp, and then feed them a normal diet, like actually, hey, you have nothing else but to choose a healthy diet for your regimen, like you're force-fed healthy food. You know what I mean? Like, it's exactly what there is nothing about it. We had actually oatmeal and peanut butter, like balls, like those like little
Oh, that
protein
sounds
balls or
bomb.
whatever.
Yeah.
They were like those were like a snack option. Like we
Yeah,
had
that sounds bomb.
sun butter, which is sunflower butter instead of peanut butter,
Sunflower butter.
higher in protein, higher in good carbs. So it was like we need to fuel these guys and start giving them the energy that they're gonna need to succeed.
Yeah.
Like if their mind's made up that they're not gonna succeed, then that's their mind's made up that they're
Yeah.
not gonna do it. Not
That's
because
interesting.
their physical body won't be able to be put
Yeah,
through
that's
it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like
And this was your boot camp?
that was at our boot camp.
Wow, that's interesting.
So we stayed a separate place. They were called ships. It was funny because it's like instead of like dorm rooms or whatever, like, oh, we're in this ship, we're in this ship, we're in this ship, and they're literally the size of like they're
Psychology.
supposed to be. Yeah, it's just it's a psychological thing, man. So it's like when I go to the Navy, oh, I'm part of the USS whatever, you know what I mean? Throw up your little gang sign or whatever. You're gonna throw up, pop your collar with your little thing on the name of your
That's
ship on
funny.
your shirt.
Wrapped it till.
Yeah, bro, for
Yeah.
real. So yeah, there were ships. We stayed in a whole separate one compared to the rest of the boot camp because we were constantly doing more stuff than everybody else. So it was like a sped up version, but a more advanced version.
And that was to train you to be what, like an officer, like you said?
No. So I gave that up. So I just came straight in just as an enlisted. I actually came in as the highest rank you can achieve in boot camp. So it's like, as you can achieve higher rank in boot camp, which is like pretty much being like the number one in your class and all that kind of stuff. And I was already there.
Nice.
So I was just like, cool, get paid more.
Yeah.
Dope.
Right.
You know, I'm all about making more money.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then once you graduate EOD school, you rank up again. You don't have to take anything because it's just like your final test is like, that's pretty much what you come in as. And then after I graduated, I actually failed one thing in EOD school, and it's just like, okay, that's your one thing. It's either, all right, that's it. You either do that or get hurt, and then you get washed back. So I got washed back to the next class, which wasn't a big deal. It was just a little I couldn't say it's my fault, and I couldn't say it was the instructor's fault, because the way I was told, we were taught and how to do a certain thing, I did it that way. And I think because it was such a rushed job, because I was running and the instructor was behind me, so I ran there faster than he did. And I started a process that I don't think he saw me do. And because of that, like, I failed. And then I tried to explain myself, and
Do you have to repeat that class or?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That's
damn.
what washback means.
Yeah, getting held back kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Flunked.
it was pretty much. It's like, oh yeah, you just went from this to sorry, bro.
I mean, it's interesting hearing you talk about the military because there's so many different branches and so many different people. Just in this conversation, you mentioned like you were at the top of your class, even though you were in boot camp. So I can only imagine somebody who's just super wide-eyed and has no idea what the fuck they want to do. They go into the military, they get sold by the recruiter to do all these things, and then they get a gut check. You know, the first week of boot camp, they're like, "Oh shit, what did I sign up for?"
This is not all, bro. It was so funny seeing some people like. You could tell where some of the homies were from too, which was dope because like it was just like, yo, all these little honky freaking white kids out here running around from like Nebraska, Arkansas, Iowa, South Dakota, like damn near Canadian borders everywhere that love the cold. So they're the freaking dudes rolling around the barracks with their shirts off when it's middle of winter, like 10 degrees outside. Everyone's in hoodies, blankets, going like this. They're just like, yeah, this one feels good. I'm gonna go outside my boxers. And it's like,
Oh my goodness,
dude, fuck off, dude. Like, whatever. And yeah, man, like I see these kids and I was like, oh my god, have you never seen another race before? You know what I mean? And just so much, there was so much racism.
Oh yeah,
Bro.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy. Like I'd see that, I'm talking to him, he's black, and I'm just like, what
the hell?
fuck?
Yeah.
Motherfucker, it's 2010, dude. What you talking about? Like this isn't, you know what I mean? Like this isn't that. And it's like, no, man, I just don't trust that dude because he sounds like he's all tatted up. And I was like,
What the
bro,
heck?
what are you talking about? So am I. You know what I mean? I was like, and we're homies. It was like part of me was thinking like, there's no way that's real because like, you know, college, I went to a school in Philly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's just kind of like,
Interacted with like a bunch of races. So,
yo, it depends on where you're at, man. You just gotta, it's like just culture just has to be around you. It doesn't have to necessarily be race. It's just like, okay, cool. Like you could be from middle of Florida or middle of Texas and never really seen black people, but since you in a populated area, you know what I mean? Of course you're gonna know what rap music is, all this kind of stuff. And it was like none of these kids were ever exposed to that. Ever be like, nah, man, I'm from Western Kentucky. I grew up on a farm. We had 3 goats. And
really?
Like all this kind of stuff, and you're just kind of like,
no, that's real talk. I mean,
like
because
he graduated with like 7 people from high school type stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Like
that's real. That's real.
You know what I mean? Like people that never been outside anywhere of their life other than their town they grew up in.
Yeah.
Joining the military because hey, that or following daddy's footsteps doing whatever, you know what I mean? Like that's, and you don't think like as because of where we're at, where we're from, that like places like that exist.
Oh yeah,
no, it's like, oh, that's just stuff you see in the movies until you talk to somebody and be like, I guess that's why they make movies with people like this, because there's people like this in the world.
There's still people like that.
Oh, absolutely, bro.
Middle America is mostly like that just because it's been undeveloped. We're lucky because we live in a metropolitan city, and there's other metropolitan cities in the outskirts of the United States, but like what you just said is wild. It's wild to see these people are still. It's 2020 now, and there's still plenty of people like that,
bro. Yes,
plenty.
All you gotta do is take a little trip down south. And you're like,
bro.
What?
I don't know about that.
Bro, the best.
You talk about food?
Huh?
No, I thought you were gonna say the best food or something.
No. The best comedian, we've been watching just a bunch of stand up lately, and this dude that describes it perfectly. He's on Netflix. It's Tom Segura. He's actually from LA, and that dude has just been getting it. Like every special he has on Netflix is hilarious. But he was describing the South when he went on tour like last year, and he did like Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, and everything that dude says was spot on. Because I was a cop down there, you know what I mean? So I was just like, yo, like I felt like some of the people wouldn't get the jokes because they've never experienced it, and I was like, since I lived down there and experienced it, and you're just like,
you can relate.
You're laughing that much harder because it's like, oh yeah, I know what he's saying is funny because I know what that's like because I've seen Waterboy, but I've never seen anybody in real life talk like that. It's just like, bro, that's mad funny, man, because it's true, bro. Like it's crazy. But yeah, man. And then
did those guys ever evolve at all towards the end of boot camp, or maybe progressively into their military
it's
career?
funny because I even told her, I was just like, it's because like the first couple, like maybe 3 or 4 days that you're there, it's just kind of like, I mean, you gotta take showers together. Like there is no stalls on the toilets. It's just toilets, like prison, straight up. It's like prison, bro. I'm not gonna tell you how I know that yet. No, I'm saying, but so it's just like there's no privacy. No privacy. So it's like you know how everybody's still getting the lay of the land. They're like, yo, I'm not trying to freaking see nothing. Like washing, like you're just looking down, washing yourself, like holding your junk with one hand, washing your body with the other. Bro, about like the 3rd week, we were just like,
nobody gave a fuck.
Like, bro, your dick is small as shit. What you talking about? Like, you know, just being
around.
stupid like that, bro. Because it's a bunch of fucking alpha male having ass bred dudes. Like they're all just like, I want to be the best. Like I'm the baddest motherfucker around. Like, you know what I mean? That's how everybody's mindset is going into this, which is why. Like we start off like that, you know what I mean? And then we become what we become, and the mindset hasn't changed. Nothing's changed except for our bodies and maybe our mentality on how things are. So it's just like cool. And then but it's just the gayest thing in the world. It's just like just a bunch of dudes just like, oh, dude, look where this horse bit me last night. I think I pulled my left nut. Like, look at this. Or look how big my balls are, dude. When I fell, bro, it hurt so bad. Look how swollen they are. Like, stuff like that. Like, there's no fucks given, bro, at the end because you're brothers. You're going through all this stuff together. And then a lot of times, like, I did my whole career with one of my very good friends. I mean, he passed away, but my whole career was with him. The last year was without him. That was it, from boot camp all the way through school. So me and him were 1 and 2 of 4 people to graduate out of the 37 people that started. So it was it was pretty crazy. We just had that brotherhood, man. Like it was like 2 older dudes. He was 21, went to college. I was 23, went to college, and we kind of already had our shit together by the time we met each other. So it wasn't like we experienced all this stuff together. Just the 2.5 years of training that we did together made us closer than everything. We made sure we were roommates, made sure, because we went everywhere the same place, and so we were the class that stayed together. So it was just like, bruh, we're doing everything together. We might as well do it together. You know what I mean? So he was the homie. Met his wife, like all kind of stuff, and he was gonna be in my wedding. I was in his, like all kind of, like, you know what I mean? Like I still, every once in a while, we used to keep up with his wife and daughter. She remarried, so she's good. Stuff like that. So it was cool.
How's that? I'm assuming he passed away during deployment.
Yeah.
How is that like when you have a friend that you? I was gonna say grew up with. That's not the right word, but you went through this.
Did stuff together with.
Yeah,
like, he was your bro.
You bonded.
He was your homie.
You bonded. How is that like?
It was pretty rough for me because it happened because of me. I took a round. I was down. He came over to cover me. It was the second time we actually both were in the same shit show predicament together, and we actually have bro tats for it. So it was funny. The first one we did was it was so stupid. It was the first time I got shot, actually, and then the third time I got shot, we were together, and he got shot both times as well. But we were like in this really stupid firefight, like just trying to get some stuff, and he's just like, yo, fuck this shit, these things aren't even coming anywhere close to me. And he's just like, he caught a ricochet round. So it was bad because he like started walking backwards, and he caught a round right in the freaking thigh. Like he was fucked. It hit his arterial, it hit an artery in his leg.
Oh, he's bleeding out.
I almost just said something, like he didn't, like it popped, but the way it deflected, he's like, oh shit, I got hit. And then all you see is like, so me and it was spraying, and me and my buddy were the closest one to him, and I ran over there and grabbed him, and he passed out on me real quick. But I mean, he was good. And I got tagged in the shoulder, and well, not the shoulder, but like the top of my chest, and from that it ended up being some crazy, just like a bunch of ricochets were happening and just random fire. Like we couldn't find out where it was coming from for like a minute and a half.
Oh, that's
because it was so just all over the place. It was crazy because it was at night. So made it even worse. We couldn't pinpoint where everything was coming from, and the second time he was out doing some stuff, we were getting hit from a pretty weak side that we were at, and he was the only person over there, him and another guy, and the other guy was in a pretty good position, but my buddy wasn't. And so I ran over there to help him out, and I got tagged in the back, smacked my face on the ground, knocked myself out, was completely unconscious. That's all I remember. It's just the pain, and hence why I was in the hospital today, because of that gun wound.
I got you. Wow.
And I ate shit, and he ended up trying to come get me and took a round to the back of the head. So I wake up in a helicopter on the way back to base, to the hospital, and I look over, and I was just like, yo, who's that? What happened? And he said it was JJ, and I was just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, damn, you serious right now? Like, I went to what the fuck happened, and then looked back on some footage, and we saw what he did, what I did, and it was the fucking worst, dude. Like, that shit sucked, because like I saw him, and then like seeing the footage like 2 months later about how, because I got shot through my kidney, fucked up my liver, my gallbladder, fucked up a bunch of my intestines, all kinds of shit. And so I was in the hospital for a while, getting like surgery after surgery after surgery, make sure I don't fucking die. And watching a video when I'm like back,
Yeah.
like that shit sucks, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we went through like everything together, and then it's just like fuck, like he got done for me, like, and me for him before. So it's just like yeah, it wasn't very fun.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just like your fucking mom and dad are dead, like
Yeah.
dying and shit,
Yeah.
and you're like the one that survived,
Yeah.
and then you keep remembering
Yeah.
everything that happened. Like, maybe it wasn't because of you or whatever, but like you were like in that situation, so it was just like a combination of that, like just remembering like that he's just gone and that we were homies, and then there was a combination of like you fucking took a bullet for fucking me, like true brotherhood type shit. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that sucked. But yeah, that was just, I mean, you got, and then me and him were like the same too, man. Like that's what, like we click. That's another person. Like he was like the homie that I clicked with, and the most in boot camp. And so it's like when we have that, and then you have a bunch of these other goofy people and shit that you can't really associate, because everybody sees, like, you take a class picture, everybody's really good friends by the end of boot camp because you do all that shit together for fucking 2.5 months. And then so everyone's like, yo, I'm gonna stay in touch, yo dog, we're gonna stay in touch, we're gonna stay in touch, we're gonna stay in touch. And then everybody goes their separate ways because there's a massive washout rate.
Life happens.
As soon as you go to BUD/S, as soon as you go to EOD school, prep, anything like that, like, they're gone out that program. They're the 87% attrition rate. Like, they're a part of that. So it's just like pretty much after that, like, yo, you find out, because you're still there when people fail. So you're still there for a couple of weeks. Like, you're just kind of shunned, and not really shunned, but like pretty much shunned by like that core of instructors, because they don't give a shit about you no more because you failed. So you're out of here. You're gonna go find a new job. So it's just like, okay, cool. And then they're like, yo, good luck, man. Good luck. We're gonna keep in touch. Some of them did for a little bit, and some of them didn't. But like, then you get the homies you graduate with, dude. And then you're lucky enough to go all the way and have a job and go on deployments and go downrange and do hood rat stuff with your friends. And he's one of them. Like, that's something like super duper special. So it's just like doing everything together, and you're like those friends since you were 4, and now you're 85. It's like it was only 4 years, or 5 years that we were friends, but it seemed like we were friends since we were at birth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in diapers.
So, because you know more about each other. Like, I feel like as an adult, when you get to know somebody, and then you can become like super close, super fast, kind of like us. You know what I mean? Like, we've only been together, me and her have only been together for 4.5 months, 4 months, 5 months. And it feels like, but because of the whole coronavirus thing and everything, like, we were stuck together. So we grew like mad quick. So it's just like, we're just like, it feels like we've been together for years. So it's the cool part of stuff like that, being grown up and having that kind of relationship. But yeah, dude. So
I mean, the military's a motherfucker, man.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but
war is a motherfucker.
Yeah, war is, but like, I would say the military's, I think America should be like some of these countries like Israel and over places in Europe, certain places in Europe, to where it's like you have to do 2 years in the military. You have to be military service. It's either college or military service. Because if you didn't, you would get all these like millennials, and
like we have now.
Like we have now, dude. Way too many ignorant, self-proclaimed, thinking they're more important, thinking that everything revolves around them. Little shit, pussy ass motherfuckers that think that their say matters, and it's just like, shut up, dude. Go to another country. How about you go to like, just go volunteer like on like a missions trip for a church, or go help the freaking Red Cross or something for 3 months in a disastrous third world country, and humble the shit out of yourself. Like, I feel like everybody, even though it's not even, you don't even have to deploy, just go be a part of some kind of structure in your life that the world doesn't revolve around you, and it revolves around a team effort, and actually creating some good discipline in your life. instead of waking up and forever being on your phone or something like that, or just trolling people, or just being some kind of clown towards, just disrespectful to anybody older than you, because you think you can do whatever you want because you're grown, because you're 14 to 24 years old. Like, that's like the mindset. And even some of these dudes that are like our age, you know what I mean? Like, just, it's like, dude, wow, just the way you think is just totally skewed compared to, like, you know, the 98% of the country. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's a West Coast thing, or it might be because of like certain areas the way you were raised and stuff, but just even like I first started seeing it pretty bad when I became a cop, like seeing how disrespectful like young kids can be to like older, and I'm just like, how are you thinking like this, man? Like, what gives you the, I wasn't thinking like this. And then I'm thinking about how old I am, and I'm just like, yo, shit, that was like 20 fucking years ago, dude. Like, I'm not that, you know what I mean? But still, it's just like that age gap is crazy. Like, I feel like from how we are our age now, and then like to maybe like 24, 25, everybody from that was past 24, 25 years, born within those years that they are right now, just have nothing to be, they're not like, none of them are productive members of society. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's just a bunch of just like spoiled little people who can say whatever they want. It's just like, did y'all stop, like, you know, parents being like parents? Like, when I was raised, I did something wrong, I got disciplined for it.
Yeah,
not my phone taken away.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean?
There's
Or
a
just
paddle
like
on the, next to the fireplace, and
Bruh.
they had our names on it every time we did something wrong, bro.
Yo, bro.
Hey, go to the restroom, bend over.
Yep, we had the board of discipline. It was called the board of discipline.
Yeah.
And my dad drilled holes through it. And bro, we got spanked, dude.
Yeah.
Or my mom would grab whatever was close, whether it was a flip flop or a spatula or the back of her hand or a hose or whatever. We were being disrespectful. She grabbed whatever she could grab, and you either got popped in the mouth or bent over immediately, forcefully, and got your ass whooped.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I had a pretty good childhood, because I learned real quick not to be disrespectful. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank
same.
you. When someone opens the door for somebody, you know what I mean? Acknowledge the other person that
proper
just
manners.
acknowledged you. You know what I mean? When people ask you, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
You say, I'm good, how are you? And like, you know what I mean? Like, people don't do that shit no more, bro. And it's just like, you treat an old person a certain way, they're like, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And they're so ecstatic of what you just did, and you're like, I just held the door open for you because you're 90 and you're going to take a couple seconds walking through it with your walker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's how everybody, I feel like there's just stupid, shitty people in the world,
People don't
bro.
even do that no more, like holding the door open for other individuals.
She told me that she's just like I open the door all the time on cars for her. Like, every time she's getting in the car, I open the door for her. You know what I mean? She was just like, oh, she's just like says thank you to me every time I do it. You know what I mean? She's been used to it for the past 3 months, 4 months. You know what I mean?
I'm not even gonna lie. My mom's she every time we go into like a grocery store, she waits for me to open the door every time. Never opens the door. And even my sister too. That's just what they know, like on demand. Never open the door for yourself. Make sure the gentleman does it next to you.
Yep. And it's funny, man, because you look at like the different cultures, bro. Like, you go overseas, older people are treated with reverence, like the most respect ever. Bro, it's like the exact opposite of that over here. It's crazy, man.
It's
like,
different over here,
right.
man.
It's
different
just
over
like, and it was all the same back in the day. You know what I mean? It's just like, where did the tide change? What happened?
Internet.
Yeah. But I mean, bro, you have internet in every country. Now, there is not a country that I have been to. Well, I mean, it was our own, but like that. All right, maybe like three or four that didn't have a city that didn't have internet.
I feel that.
You know what I mean? Like, it's ain't no excuse. You go to Japan, bro. Like, you know what I mean? You go to Tokyo, you're gonna have the grandparents being like, hey, it's still our say around here. You know what I mean? Obviously, the parents have a little bit more to say, but that grandkid's not disrespecting grandpa like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go to places like Norway, Denmark, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You come over to America. I think America is probably the only place where they treat elderly like shit.
No. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, shit, man. We got the Middle East. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, but that's still the treat. That's like village elder. That still applies over there like crazy.
They treat women like shit over there.
Oh, yo, women, that's a different story, bro.
Yeah, it's
you
sad,
can't get me
man.
started on that, bro.
It's
Like
sad.
that's nuts. Like that was one of the hardest things I think I ever had to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was just being like a protector from like growing up around girls, my mom doing what my dad did, or it was my job in the military as, you know what I mean? Like that's our job, keep you safe, you know what I'm saying? And then trying to adopt that while you're doing your job in the military and not get involved when you're seeing a kid getting ass whooped, like ass whooped, getting his finger fucking taken or his hand taken or some shit like that for stealing or for taking some shit from somebody, like one of the soldiers, like the soldiers gave him a gift or whatever, like shit like that. Like watch these videos, or these women just for teaching their kids something, you know what I mean? And just
So crazy.
They're so suppressed and repressed there, man. It's crazy.
and it's nuts. I mean, a lot of things have changed over there because of modernization in certain areas. It's gotten better, but it's still absolutely uncalled for the way, and it's the whole culture. It's not just certain aspects, like you have the Taliban, you know what I mean, but that's part of a culture. No, it's the whole culture, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, it's crazy. It's just like, where the fuck did that start?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Because I don't think it's been like that, because so many other cultures, they treat their women with respect, and it's just like they have like the same rights. I mean, yeah, maybe it's just for certain things, but it's not like that. Like that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, they're still living in the past, man.
It's nuts.
I don't even know who's making those rules over there.
I don't know much about the Middle East at all. I'm not even
No
gonna
one
try
does.
to speak on it.
No
but
one does.
It's always changing.
It's constantly changing.
Yeah,
dude.
I just know. I'm sure it's a beautiful place. Once you kind of put that all aside, I'm sure there's beautiful places, beautiful people,
Oh, for sure.
and I don't know. I don't know what to say about that.
It's not even. It's a touchy subject, man. That's why I don't like talking about like war, politics. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
what's
'cause
going on right now isn't politics, bro. It's people's opinion. So it's just like 99% of the arguments that I've gotten into with that are people that don't educate themselves, and they're just going based off of Twitter posts or some shit they saw on IG.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like, oh wait, what? Oh, that makes me, and it makes them mad. And then you're just like,
You gotta
did
look
you
into the more
even
facts.
read it?
Yeah,
It's just a headline, bro. Like to get
Yeah.
to catch people to pretty much do the job that is making done to you right now.
Yeah,
And,
people are full of entitlement, man.
It's crazy. So it's just like I don't. There's certain subjects I don't touch. I mean, the whole Corona thing and what's actually really going on, like I know a lot about, and it's just like, bro. I mean, we experienced it. First thing, getting stuck in another country while it was happening.
What was the country?
We were in New Zealand. So we were stuck together in New Zealand. We weren't stuck together. We were together on vacation in New Zealand, and we ended up having a very, very, very long extended vacation for 2.5 months together. It was amazing, but we got to experience the way mainstream media portrays what they want you to think is going on compared to what's actually going on. And we're like, we come back after they opened the country, and what was it, like a day, 2 days maybe, that there was another post, New Zealand beats COVID-19. And we were both just like, the fuck? No, they did it. Who lied to you? Because we just came from there and everything's still shut down.
Yeah.
Like we literally, they had 4 different levels over there, levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the 4th level was complete lockdown. Can't go anywhere, can't do nothing. You could walk outside. Like we were at the beach, so it was dope. But like there was nothing open besides grocery stores, doctors' offices, and pharmacies. That's it. So no takeout, no drive-through, nothing. Wow. So level 3, drive-throughs and restaurants could open. Not anything else. Just the what's it called? It's like we see food and beverages, like it's
Grocery stores?
Nah, bro. Certain industry.
Okay.
It's like the biggest hit. The thing that's taking the biggest hit right now is like the beverage and dine-in industry.
Okay.
So I don't know what the word for it's
Say
called.
restaurant.
Hospitality.
Hospitality industry. Yeah, hospitality industry. And that took the biggest hit. So it's just like, and then we come back over here and it's the same level type drunk, and I'm like, they're like, yeah, all these restaurants been open the whole time. Like, they closed for dine-in only, but they were driving. I'm like, bruh, like, that was like a month and a half to where I couldn't eat a pizza. And I was just, I mean, I love pizza, so it's just like, just find like the little things. It's just like, I just want to eat a pizza right now, or it's just like, bro, I just want some bacon for breakfast because I'm tired of eating this random meat that they call something, and it don't taste nothing like bacon. And so that was fun, and then just experiencing new stuff with her, and then we kind of did everything together. So that was dope. But yeah, man, just like watching that, and we're just like, bro, that's not what happened. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you experience something. It'd be like if you saw a car accident out here and a bunch of stuff happened, and then the news came and reported it, and it was not even close to what happened, and you're just like,
what the heck?
Yeah,
I just saw that.
And if they're sitting there willing to lie about little tiny stuff like that, it's like, where's the end, bro?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Lying about?
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, that's why I'm like, yo. One, that's a reason why I don't argue politics and stuff, because the stuff that people portray, the media portrays, all that is crazy. And another is just like, I'm just like arguing. It's stupid. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if there's a point, or if it's like a moral matter of like, hey, maybe you should stop cussing around these little kids.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Just something like that. And someone's like, oh, motherfucker, I want, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And you're just like, bruh, yeah, you're right, you can.
Yeah.
But like, for the rest of the aspect of the situation that's going on right now, no, you can't, because it's wrong. And it's just that, like, that's a different type of argument, not about some stupid story or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's just like stuff like that. It's what I hate. But I mean, I'll talk sports with you and argue how whack your favorite sports team is. I like them all day long.
Well, I mean,
that's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're running up out of time right now, but man, some crazy stories, bro.
I wish we had gotten into some more deeper, intimate stories about your experiences on
In the
deployment.
military.
Yeah, after
you gave us
too,
some
but
extensive
we gonna have to
stories,
run it
though.
back.
Yeah, no, we're gonna make sure that we run another story.
We're gonna have
too.
to run it back.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, for sure.
for sure.
Like, I had a lot of stupid and crazy stuff happen to me. I mean, I'm here, so that's all that matters. But
Yeah.
a lot of crazy stuff that people should experience, but maybe not to the extent. It should be like a similar life-changing experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, I feel like I had a little too many of those because of the way certain stuff played out in my life and stuff like that. And it's like, sometimes it only really takes one. I'm like, yo, you can have mine. Like, you can have that shit all you want, bro. Like, I only needed one. I didn't need like 15. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like stuff like that. But yeah, definitely, for sure, man.
For
Like,
sure,
I'd love to be back.
Absolutely.
It's
We
fun.
definitely
we
will
will.
back.
Yeah.
I'll schedule it in soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Eric.
No problem, bro.
Thanks, Charlie.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, later.
Later.
You're now entering the Walkhouse.